Okay, so Debo, please, or whoever is using borderless second accounts, please help me keep a tab of people that want to join so that you can accept them. Because I just noticed that we have some people waiting. And if I'm sharing my screen, I might not see them.
Okay, so let me switch my account because I'm not sure anyone here is using borderless. So let me
So I
switch
need
back so that
someone,
I can.
yes, I need someone else to use the borderless account so that because I'm sharing my screen. Okay, so let's just start. Welcome, Mr. Lubenga, welcome, sir. Mr. Shola Kenny, welcome. Saving Our Nation Agency, I don't know your name, but welcome, sir. AA and one more joined, welcome. Okay, let's just kickstart this because I don't want it to be a long session. In less or within 1 hour, I want us to finish it. So it's just the session with parents of kids that we've trained, and it's basically for us to just rub minds. Before I go ahead, please, I need to confirm. Do I have any background noise, or is it okay? Because I need anyone to just
It's
respond.
okay, no background noise. It's fine.
Okay, sir. Thank you for that, sir. Okay, so why are we here? Well, it's basically to discuss what we have up here, which says what's next. Um, as of today, we've carried out over 100 classes. We've lost count in between, so we're not so sure. So that was like over 100. And add 45 kids trained. Now we can continue, but we feel it's best we have a session with parents to actually get their feedback. To have a session with them, let them share their thoughts, let them give us ways in which we can improve this service. And that is why we're having this session. So the agenda is quite simple. We've had a waiting time of 5 minutes already. Well, there's supposed to be another 5 minutes appreciation to give us 10 minutes, which we're already running into it. There's a where are we, which is another 5 minutes. Why are we here 15 minutes? And then we have a whole 30 minutes for the feedback with parents. So without wasting so much time, let me just jump into the appreciation. Um, I would say a very, very big thank you for parents, both parents in terms of the ones that are in the free classes and the one in the paid classes. We really appreciate all you have been doing for you to actually believe in us and be able to at least give the time, because for a start is the time to even listen to us, and then after listening to us to also be able to give the time to support your kids to actually join the sessions, because if the kids are not there, we'll probably not be where we are as that today. So I want to really appreciate you. Thank you. We are not belittling whatever it entails. Whether it's free, whether it's paid, we really appreciate it. It takes an effort. And to the few parents that have had the paid sessions with us, we also thank you for being able to entrust your funds. We know it's not easy out here in the UK trying to get these funds, to be able to entrust your funds with us to say, okay, you're giving us a part of it. So really appreciate this. Thank you very much. We're not underappreciative. We appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I would expect to see, yeah, that's thank you. Yeah, thank you. Exactly. Yeah, guys. Okay. Now the next one is who we are. I've said this before and I'll still say it again. There's a story behind why we are doing what we are doing. I know for the first course when I started, when I was onboarding parents, I usually say this story, but for the second cohort, I didn't onboard with some of the parents, so you might not have heard this story. But let me just reiterate it again. Last year, when I was working, so for a lot of us, for me, I work from home, and for a lot of us, we have kids, and we've noticed that the way these kids, the way they get assignments back in Nigeria, they don't get it here in the UK. They don't get homework. So they just come home, the kids are playing, playing. I would ask my kids, come, where is your homework? We don't have homework. So what are you doing? Nothing. They end up playing with their gadgets, making too much noise. And it was affecting me because I was still at work. So I needed to get them something to engage them. And that was where the whole idea of, okay, let me teach them how to code started. I have three kids, so imagine three kids running all over the house. And I basically had to just engage them in coding. That was my first time. I had not thought about teaching them before. And we started, they were engaging, it was interesting, and I was surprised at the rate at which they were able to catch up and they were able to deliver and create things on their own. I then thought about it. If I'm having this problem, then that means quite a lot of parents out there also would also be having this problem. And I met with my team to say, okay, guys, I think we can teach coding to kids in the UK, to be precise, for a start. And we rolled out last year. That was around October or November, yeah, October. And we started pushing it, pushing it, pushing it. But we're not able to get parents on board because one, they don't know us. We've not done something like that before. And we're asking them to pay for the service. So they liked this, they wanted their kids to do coding, but they were not ready to pay. So the ideal thing would have been, okay, if the parents are not ready to pay, let's just forget about it. But I said no, let's make it free. And then when we make it free, we're able to probably get parents that would then be interested in the pay plan, which is the one-on-one phone. And that was how we rolled out in January with free classes for coding. And trust me, we didn't even expect it the way it evolved, the number of kids we had. And from there, we had parents that were like, okay, fine, my child is not catching up in the group class. Please, can we have a one-on-one class? And they paid for it. And that was how we were able to at least get the numbers we had as of today. Free classes, paid classes, running them side by side. Right now, who we are, we don't know yet. All we know is that there was a problem, we tried solving it, and we are still trying to solve it. How big it can be, we don't know. And that is part of why we said, okay, let us have a session with parents. Let parents probably just share their ideas with us. What are they actually looking at in terms of we delivering this service? Because if we continue to think in our own life, we might not be solving the problem for the parents. But when the parents tell us their pain points, then we have to say, okay, this is a pain point. And this is how we think we can help you solve it. And then we're able to build a business around it. And that's the simple reason why we are here, and that is who we are as at now. We're not yet that big. So why are we here? Well, as they say, blow your trumpets. If you don't blow it, no one is going to blow it for you. January 2024 to date, we've done over 100 classes, over 45 kids strength. We want to blow our trumpets. We want to say thank you for making it happen. That is a big achievement in less than 4 months. Thank you once again. Now, there are challenges. So we just said we should put these challenges also out there so that while parents are giving their feedback, they also help us to, they're also able to help us put this in their thought process and make it work. Now, there's this popular saying that says, there is no free food in Freetown. For every free thing out there, there's somebody that is paying for it. If we look at our tutors as of today, they are based in Nigeria. And it was intentional so that we are able to keep low in terms of cost of running it. But still, there's a cost involved. Cost involved, Nigeria, there's no lights. So for every class that takes place, somebody has to buy fuel into a generator. Somebody has to buy data. And the person has to be paid for that service. How to ensure that we keep it running is a challenge that we are having at the moment. So right now it's self-funded, it's not sustainable. We've also tried reaching out to get grants, but we've not aggressively done it. We're still trying to build it. But we might be surprised. We might have some parents here that are experts in these fields, in getting grants, that they might want to work with us, partner with us, advise us on how to get it. We also needed to put this out there. So right now, it's self-funded, it's not sustainable. There's no grants, there's nobody that is paying us to do it. So right now, it's all coming from our personal pockets to ensure that it happens. Yes, some parents have been able to assist with paid classes. That has helped us to reduce the costs, but trust me, it's still far from where we want to be. So we just needed to put out those challenges out there. Now, what do we need from you? Apart from the feedback you're going to have, what we feel we need from you as at today is part of what I've mentioned. Refer us to a grants body. If you know any grant body, if you know how to apply, if you can work with us, we would be happy to go that line with you. Please, I need to be sure that you're hearing me. Please, if you can hear me, please just let me see the signs. Okay, thank you. Okay. So, thank you. And then for some of us that subscribe to the one-on-one class, we'll say thank you. For those of us that are yet to subscribe, we would also encourage you to subscribe. Now, we would go into it. So we have some other courses that we didn't make free from the onset. And those are courses that we intentionally kept for the one-on-one class, which is the paid classes. And then refer us to friends and families. So I'm going to be thanking Mr. Richard. At least he referred us to one of his friends. I specifically called him out. So these are some of the things we're also looking at for. We've trained your kids. You like dates. If you have friends and families, please do referrals to them so that we can at least ensure that we keep the lights on and we're able to build the business into something greater. These are the courses we offer. We have just 10 minutes for this before we go into the parents comment session. These are the courses we currently offer. A lot of us are aware of the Scratch class, which we made free. Many do not know that we actually run a chatbot class. This chatbot class, we ran it as a one-on-one class. It wasn't free. And as of today, we've trained about 4 kids on chatbot developments. Python class, we made it also free. So we made Scratch class free, we made Python class free. That doesn't mean that we also have kids on one-on-one Scratch class. We have a child on Python one-on-one class as at now, and we have the last one, web development. We have a child on that too, just one child. So these are classes that we currently run. Part of it is we might be able to add more, but we must even be sure that parents are willing to say, okay, they need these other classes. So for now, we just limited it to these 4 classes. These are also where we would expect feedback from parents to say, okay, we want our child to probably take a robotic class. We want our child to probably take some other classes. But for now, these are the classes we take. And it has an age range. So we also have parents that even want their kids as kids of 4 years old, you want them to join the session. We say, no, not yet. The lowest age we can take is 6 years. And the maximum we can take is 16 years. And there are some classes that some ages can't take. For example, a 6-year-old cannot take a Python class because he's not yet, he or she is not developed for it. So we have an age range for each of these classes, and we have a time frame for each of these classes. Now, for those that took Scratch, you see that you did 4 classes. However, we made the 8 classes here because this one-on-one classes is more detailed. The free classes are classes where we pick a particular project, we build with the kid. But that does not necessarily mean that if the kid is given another project, the kid will be able to develop it on his or her own. But when you take the one-on-one class, then the child is able to develop anything on his or her own because it's a more detailed class. For those that did Python class, this is 12 classes, free class. I'm sure we didn't take up the 12 classes. So I just needed to explain part of this. We would have questions during that session. I think I would not go into this yet. I would rather want to have a session where parents give their feedback before I go into this. Because this is basically for the one-on-one class. Because we want to encourage as many parents as possible to subscribe for the one-on-one class so that we can keep running and be sure that we are ready to give as much discount as possible just to ensure that parents get on board dead on the one-on-one class. Sorry about that. I had to call. So, without boring you too much with my session, I would just want to jump to the feedback and question time. I don't want it to be longer than 1 hour. Let it just be quick, sharp. If parents have gotten what we're talking about, and then we get their feedback. So I can see Mr. Richard's hands up. So Mr. Richard, Toyrat says that we coding today. Toyrat, I hope is that I'm expecting it to be your mom, not you. Are you the one in the class or your mom? Sorry, rats. Are you the one in the
Hello, am I
session?
am I allowed to use the mic because I can't be able to do the chatting stuff. I don't know why it's a problem with mine.
Mr. Richard, you can go on, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all. Your
Thank you too,
suggestion
sir.
is nice. I mean, last time I wanted to ask, like, how do you guys, form the teachers and other things? I don't know. But I was like, okay, maybe during if people are interested to subscribe to one-on-one class, then maybe probably they are getting their decent salaries or something there. My own suggestion or my own opinion comes this way. There is a lot of things to do on IT with my little knowledge I have with IT stuff. So if I may say, maybe the one-on-one class maybe might not be necessary for everybody, but this their normal Saturday one, maybe it can be increased to 2 days in a week. Then there will be a certain amount. I mean, there is maybe some introduction on IT or maybe something more easier than the one-on-one. I don't know, something like that. Then there will be a certain fee. Then we can be able to, which will be lower than the one-on-one class. I don't know. So it will be easier for the teacher to, teach all of them the same time as well. So I think this is my own idea or my opinion.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Richard. So what you're saying is we should still keep the group class,
Okay.
but now it can then be at a paid amount, but it's going to be a lower amount since it's a group class, and then they could have it like twice
Exactly.
a week.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
that's
Then the one-on-one
that's
can go on. For people that wants to go more deeper.
okay.
Mm.
Okay, I have noted it. I will not make any comments. Let's hear that. So that's comments noted. If parents have comments on that, I can see Rayo, babe. You can have the floor, man. If it's a new one, if it's in line with what Mr. Richard has said, that's fine. You can speak, Rayo. I can see your hand up. Can anyone hear Rayo? Because I'm not hearing now.
No, we can't hear her yet. She's not speaking yet.
You're muted, but like we're not hearing you. Do you want to log out and log in back, Rayo? Because we can't hear you. It looks like you're talking, but we're not hearing you. Okay. So while we're waiting for Rayo, any other comments, even if it's a thought process on what Mr. Richard has said, group class twice a week.
Yeah, can I make a few comments? Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Mr. Shalakemi.
Yeah, Chief, I hear you, sir. Good afternoon. Just
Yes,
a
sir. Thank you.
few comments, and the first one is to actually say kudos to you and your team.
Thank you very
Um,
much.
it's honestly a great work of impact that you are doing. And
Thank
to
you,
be
sir.
honest, it's a lot much more than even collecting money from the parents because obviously with the numbers you are pulling over time, you surely get grants and all of that. Personally, I'm also into the IT space, which speaking to a couple of organizations, see how they can also support this vision. It's actually a great thing.
We
Ensuring that
really
the kids,
appreciate it.
yeah, that we can build the kids and give them the foundational skill set that can help them in the society. Yes, I honestly didn't know there was a one-to-one class, which makes a lot of sense because I wanted to say that that group one if the faculty could actually slow down a lot. However, that's relative, and the reason why I said it's relative is that every of the words in that class, they have their learning capacity, how fast they can learn, how fast they can assimilate things. So they'll definitely be slower than each other and all that. I think that that might be a major setback to the group one. But one thing I think I think it was Mr. Daniel, or what's his name now,
Mr. Richard.
mentioned, Mr. Richard, is if they could keep up with the group one. Yeah, it's a good idea to keep up with the group class and ensure peer collaboration with the kids. I think that will greatly help them for them to interact with themselves. Maybe they could have more of like a group project when they have the foundational knowledge. And but one thing that I see that personally it's a major challenge for me and my wife is the parental involvement. We have to
Yeah.
definitely, if we want these kids to actually learn these things, understand it, the parents, we have to be involved. And so with that, looking at it from that perspective of that constraint as a family, I think we would prefer to have that one-to-one and see how we can commit to it financially. Because to be honest, I also asked myself, I just not reach out to you that how are you funding this training? It's a whole lot of investment, it's a whole lot of commitment to getting that done. So, one other thing I will also advise not to take too much of time is the faculties that are training these kids. We need to always encourage them in the class to see the bigger picture of why they are doing what they are doing. They shouldn't just see the kids. Personally, my child sees it more as a fun thing. I try to personally encourage her that this thing is much more than what you are doing right now. You definitely it's going to in one way or the other that skill that you are gaining right now and you're adding to yourself is definitely going to make you valuable in life. So I think the faculties too, as much as we parents are encouraging the kids to get more serious with it, the faculties should also see it as a means of encouraging the kids to understand the why so that that can help them build the passion of actually be, being intentional about learning that skill and helping them to bridge that skill gap. Thank you. I yield the mic. Once again, thank you very much for all you've done so far. I and my family, we are very much open to supporting this cause to make sure that we can all achieve a greater goal. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shola Kenny. Really appreciate your words of advice and really appreciate your feedback. Looking forward to whatever support you can give or connections as regards getting grants. And also as regards talking to the faculty to encourage the kids to see the bigger picture. That's also something we're also doing because part of the investments is also trying to train this faculty, as you have said, the teachers, because there's also a culture shift, culture difference thing, um, such that they're also able to understand the way these kids also learn, especially for the group classes. So there's also an investment in that angle, trying to ensure that they are also well trained. So thank you very much for that. Really appreciate that. Vayo, are you can you try to speak now? In case you're speaking, you're still muted, Vayo. We still can't hear you. Are you using if you're using an earpiece, you might want to try to speak without an earpiece. We still can't hear you, Vayo. So thank you very much. As I said, Mr. Richard, Mr. Sholakeni. Any other parents, while we are with Rayo to speak, any other parents wants to share thoughts? So
Can I quickly add another thought to it? And that's the classes, if it could be more than once in a week. I wanted to first push back when I heard that because of the involvement of parents in supporting the kids at the training. However, I think it will help them a lot if we could have the class maybe once, more than once, maybe it could be twice. We know that half in the week, the half day within the week, they still keep the loop of that learning rather than having to wait for a full week before the next Saturday. Some of them might have lost the basic knowledge they've learned, whatever they've learned in that weekend before the next. So maybe in between classes would help them. But it's just a lot of sacrifice on we, the parents. However, we see it as a way that we want to also help our kids to be valuable in life. So I see it as a sacrifice, and I think if the organization can also consider that as part of your training model. Thank you.
Okay, you are very right. You are very right in terms of the parental involvement. Um, getting twice, getting the group session twice a class. I still don't know how what's the impact on parents, because during the week a lot of parents are going to work, they're coming back, they're tired, and also the kids. They go to school, they come back 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, they are tired. Bringing them to a group class, we all know that as at that time, a lot of these kids are probably moody, they're tired. From experience, the one-on-one class is usually easier because it's just you and the kids. The tutor is patient with the kids. But when it's a group class during the week, it's going to take a lot of patience, both from the kids' point of view, the parents' point of view, the tutor's point of view. So if it's one-on-one class, as of today, one-on-one class, you decide, even if you want it to be every day, that's not a problem. We are able to handle that. But if it's the group class twice a week, I'm still not sure if it's going to be the best. I'm not sure if it's going to be the best. Yes, thank you very much, Rayo. You might want to drop your question. But we don't know why we can't hear you. You might want to unmute and try again. So that's for me. We still can't hear you, Rayo. That for me is a response to that Mr. Shola and Mr. Richard. But Mr. Richard's own, we'll come back to it because he was not even talking about, okay, that group classes, can they pay for it? So as against, I believe he's coming now from an angle of looking at the total cost. How can we reduce the cost and still ensure that the kids are having a personalized session? So that is would say how best to address that. So Mr. Shola, I don't know if that answers the question on the difficulty we might have having a group
Oh yeah,
twice.
definitely. Like I mentioned the other time, I personally push back on that idea because everyone is really busy during the week, especially during the
Yeah.
working hours, the working days. So, but it's just an afterthought that I think these things will work. So, but if because from the organizational perspective and the faculties involved, yes, the weekend is still fine. It's that we the parents would need to be more involved uh, supporting the kids. So yeah, definitely whatever decision the organization decides to go with, very much happy with it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. While we are at it, I dropped a link for the parents' feedback. A lot of parents haven't been filling the feedback. Please, we also need it because those are part of the artifacts that we'll be putting together if we're applying for grants and support to show what we have done. So please, Mr. Shola, before you go, please help us fill that parents' feedback. And then yes, you will get an update on it. So please, Raya, please, you can drop your message. I don't know why technology doesn't want to be your friend today. It happens. Can just please help us drop whatever you have there. So while we're waiting for Vayo, any other comments from anyone? Okay, so yes, so I got your message now, Rayo. I would like to suggest grouping the kids' age range, giving parents a lesser payment amount. Okay, so I see this is in line with what Mr. Richard had said, a way to reduce the amount, a way to reduce the amount, which it's a good one, and then grouping them by age range, grouping them by age range. Okay. Thank you very much, Rayo. Amaka, I see your hand is up. You have the floor.
Thank you very much. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much,
Thank
Amaka.
you for organizing this particular session for the parents. And thank you to all the parents present here. I know that for every one of us that are present here for this session means that we have strategies to bring up our kids in the appropriate way, other than what we know from our previous parents. Yeah, we are being
Yeah,
uh,
intention.
intentional about the well-being of our kids and how they can fend for themselves when they grow older or when they become adults to also help themselves. Yeah, not only accumulating wealth for them, but training them to, learn how to, fetch fish, to fish themselves, not only by giving them fish. So I thank the parents for being here present. I'm happy that people are actually, going out of their way to give their kids the best. When I mean the best, not only education, but the best. So going straight to it, I believe that for you guys who have already organized this, that you guys have a vision. And of course, for every vision, there is a mission as a vehicle to actualize that vision. Yeah. And
Definitely.
you also know the objectives you've set out to actualize what you want. But I think I might be wrong, because you might have other things you have in mind which I don't know. Yeah. But
Yeah.
you have to get the attention of your audience, just like in social media where you're trying to put your posts out there. You want to create awareness, you want to make money out of it, or you also have the intention of maybe impacting the world in a larger space. Do you get? So
Yes.
you have to first get the attention of those people who you want to subscribe to whatever content you are putting out there. I'm trying to use that as an instance. Yeah.
Got
So
it.
first of all, I think I might be wrong that I've not really gotten that attention, that you have not gotten my attention. Or rather, what am I saying? You haven't gotten my attention. And it might be the same with other parents. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
there should be definitely a robust value. The way I see things, there should be a robust value I am getting before I can now say, oh, I am subscribing to this. I am definitely subscribing to this. So the first thing is that I wasn't the one that actually found this out. It was my husband who now told me, because I have more time than he has, to take it up from there and help our child. Okay, I have two of them, but at least I have one who is up to 6 years old, which is Caden.
Yeah.
So and I believe that you should get the feedback from me, what I want to get from you, because before I can make suggestions. Yeah. But the first thing is that my attention hasn't been, your attention hasn't been, yes, captured by myself. So, and the first thing, the last time that is in the last cohort, where that was the last class I was involved in my son's affairs on the session, the last session, I mean, and I spoke. One of the things I highlighted was that while I was trying to help Caden out, because most times he has this issues when he can't get something right, he's always biting himself. He can, he might, go off. He might be angry, not getting it right. He's always scared of failure, which I can relate it to myself. Yeah, but not anymore because I've outgrown that. Is that there is no clear explanation of the concepts. I highlighted it in the last class. Yeah, that the instructors have to have a clear explanations of the coding concepts, including the stages involved in the coding commands. I don't know if you can remember the one parent that made that that idea known to you guys before. I think Wale, was it Wale that came to now explain what it meant? Because before then, when I was involved with my son, he taught me, because I didn't know that. He taught me how or what he wanted to do. But with the little that is using my number 6, you understand? I'm not into the techie tech, if you understand what I mean. I'm not really into tech, the coding and all that. Yeah, I'm just a business analyst, and I just started that career up. I'm not there, but I know I will be there. So is to understand the steps, the stages involved in the coding commands, breaking them down, as in breaking those complex topics into simpler things that they can understand. Yeah. And, providing a real life example, like you're using instances, because most times how I learned back in school is that if I have an idea I want to portray, or an idea I want to explain to people, I have to bring it down to their level before I can now ascend into that professional level. So I think from my own kid, I'm not speaking for every other person present here, is that he found it difficult. He didn't know why A is happening. You get? So that is that. 2, to make things fast, there should be community engagement amongst the kids. There is this, I'll portray it with instances. I'm not trying to compare, but every other person has his own ways of, tackling things or getting a project done. Do you understand? So there's this class is about helping kids to build their communication skills. And of course, you and I know that in everything we are doing in this life, if you don't have those communication skills, your success might be there, but you might not be where you want to be because you're restrained. Yeah. So I have not registered. I just tried to understand what was going on there. And it was fantastic. She created a Telegram group where all kids assemble. It's a free session. She has her own paid sessions, but it's a free session where, kids will come interacting, showcasing what they have or what they've done, or even having maybe little communication, maybe sentences to portray that, oh, I'm learning this thing. And, there's what we call healthy competition. There will be very little healthy competition there that will help others to get to a particular point. Yeah. So there should be community engagements among the kids. Encourage the students to participate in coding communities and competitions where they can showcase their skills, collaborate with their peers, and learn from others in the community. You get me? So this is just the 2 I highlighted. I feel maybe it's already taking place, but I don't know about it. I don't know if it exists, but I just decided to say it out because I've not seen it. I've not been involved in any. So now back to how we can keep it running. Now I can think of, diversifying the revenue, which I know a lot of parents have, highlighted down here. Yeah. They've
Yeah.
talked about parents involvement. They've talked about, increasing the classes, all those things. I say thank you to those parents for highlighting them. So, but you can
Okay.
diversify your revenues streams that is beyond the parents' contribution. Trying to sustain the cohorts or the classes, seek sponsorship from local businesses. Yeah, you can put it on LinkedIn. I've seen someone, she started up like a cohort where people interact on WhatsApp. I'm not saying you should go to WhatsApp because a lot of things happen now in our space where people, try to scam others with their numbers. Yeah. But
Yeah.
she had a WhatsApp space. Then strategically, she had to put it on LinkedIn. I know such things exist. I think it was on Twitter, not Twitter now, it's X, that my husband found you guys out. Yeah. So
Yes.
you can strategically try to push it into the a wider space. Yeah. Put it on LinkedIn. Oh, this group is something that is born out of zeal to train people and all that. Oh, we have a community, trying to recruit people. By so doing, you can recruit people whose kids recruit kids of people who are really into this tech thing. You understand? And they'll not only that, they might be in tech, but they might not have that time to train their kids. They might not have that time to, sit their kids down to tell them what they do. Usually it's when the kids grow up, like we watch in movies, Nigerian movies, when you become a very big guy in a business space, you now have to train your child to be the CEO of. Most times they don't have the time at the young age. Yeah. So you can reach out to such people on this space. You understand? Increase their awareness on LinkedIn, on other social media space. Then again, in that space, once it becomes robust, you can now seek for volunteer support, like you've already sought here. Yeah? Seek for volunteer support. People who can help you. It might not be run by a 2-man or 3-man personnel. You can involve, okay, now we form the community. And of course, where there is a community, there will be this very close collaboration. Yeah, you can now, it can be even as close as being now personal. You have a personal relationship with these people. Yeah, and you can now say, okay, we form the community. Can somebody volunteer and take maybe on Saturday? It mustn't be Wale, or it mustn't be. I think Wale is the person I'm speaking to. Adekoja.
Yes, yeah, correct.
Yeah,
I'm
it mustn't be
Wale.
Wale today. It might be Richard tomorrow. It might be any other person to say, okay, can you take us on this? This is when you have identified the tech people now. Yeah, can you assist? You can even form a group separately on all these tech personnel, yeah, to help us help our children. In other words, it will keep growing. Then finally, they've mentioned it already. That's why I kept it final. Community engagement, parents' involvement. Yeah. If someone suggested 2 classes, you can have 1 class for the kids and the other class for the parents. Because actually, it is the parents that would help you to help their children. When they get the knowledge, if we don't know anything, if Kaden didn't teach me, I won't be able to use my strength as a parent, my number 6 as an adult, to say, okay, this is what I think you wanted to do. Okay, let's do it this way. And it's also adverse. It's also indirectly, that's the word, indirectly teaching me myself, because I didn't even know that, and I was happy knowing that I could teach my child. Do you get me? I was happy that I could do that. I no go come make a speaker for broken, come mess myself up. They say, mommy does not know this one. No. Do you get? So I think it is something we should, parents should be involved anyway. So that's all I think I have to say. I might be wrong. I might be wrong.
No.
This is what I think.
you're not wrong. Really appreciate all your contributions. They were really deep and really insightful. I have like five different things I've written down based on what you have said. The first one being that we're not really giving out, communicating the values and the vibes. That was one you mentioned. You also talked about the tutors, the way they communicate with the kids, like trying to make them really understand why they are doing what they are doing. You talked about the community engagements. You talked about the coding community or a competition, and you also talked about reaching out to businesses for support. So those are now, because of time, I might not be able to really break down responses to each and everything you have said here, but it looks like I might also need to come for a master class, our team with you, to be able to come and help us work out some of these things, because they are really insightful, really, really insightful. And I don't want us to spend too much time here holding our parents down. So before I comment on anything you have, do we have any other person that want to add to what we have? We are 4 minutes to 1 o'clock, but we could still take it to 1:30. But we don't need to be here to 1:30. Any other parents that wants to add to what Mrs. Amaka Yvonne has said? Vayo, I saw your comment. Yeah, Paulina, you can go ahead.
Right. I want to say thank you to our last contributor. She did a really, really, really massive and great suggestion and others. And there are some of the things she mentioned. I also wanted to like suggest previously. I will start from the contribution Mr. Richard contributed earlier when he said we could have something like, will I say a voluntary contribution to the free class instead of, well, it could be a lower amount as different from an amount the paid classes are being taxed, but I would say it could be voluntary and it could be fixed as well. So that depends on the response you get, right?
Yeah.
And so the last person that contributed, she said, if we could like have a class for parents. I have only attended one class. That was the last one. My daughter got her the task she was supposed to do. Before then, she missed a class. I don't know what coding is all about. I have no idea, but that day, when I saw what the tutor they were doing, like I had to also use my number 6 to put her through, despite the fact that she missed a class. But the contribution I made helped her as well to get what she was supposed to do. So I think coming to having parents as volunteers, I think if you train a parent, for example, I would say myself, if you train me, I could also volunteer for you. You understand? If I'm being trained, I know what I'm supposed to do. I know the classes. I know, okay, I can also use my knowledge and volunteer. I say, okay, this Saturday I will be free. Oh, can I help you train some? You understand? Can I help you train some children? So that is another way. If you empower me, I can also empower your students as well. So that idea is a very, very good idea. It's a very, very good, because sometimes we are free as mothers or maybe the fathers. We can just volunteer. Voluntary is free. It's free. So that will also help this body to grow. And it's also a way of reducing costs. It's a way of reducing. So if you are having tutors you are paying, they could concentrate on the people that paid for exclusive class. You understand? So
Yes.
that's a good idea. You could just be using the volunteers for the free until a parent just, okay, this free one, I don't want to be part of it. I want to be part of a paid grant, because from the free one, they will see the impact on their children and they will want to upgrade. They will definitely want to upgrade. Yeah. So after the last class, I actually discussed with my husband. I was like, we'll need a paid class for this girl, because I like you could see the reaction on her face when she got it. So even after that, she went ahead to create another code, another game outside the one she was taught. She created a laughing like a mouse, something like. I was like,
Wow.
oh, if you could do this outside the one they taught you and you created your own, that's something we need to encourage. That's something we need to encourage, really. Good. I thank you for this opportunity, though. We really appreciate it. It's doing a good thing in our life, though. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. Wow, this is taking a new twist, which I wasn't even envisaging, but I think that's part of the essence of this session. What we are not even thinking about, we get it from the parents, they're able to advise us. So yes, teaching the parents. I know Mrs. Amaka initially mentioned it, and now Mrs. Paulina too has also brought it up. I missed it out the first time. Teaching the parents. Interesting. And then Mrs. Paulina added, then the parents can even become volunteers. That's quite a nice twist. Yes, Mr. Amaka, you can come on, you can speak. I see your answer. It's becoming interesting.
Thank you, Paulina, for stressing on that. But another thing I want to say is just in like a plus to whatever I've said. If these sessions are also recorded, if it's recorded, it can also be put in a YouTube channel. You can create a YouTube channel. It can also help us. We also know the power of social media and how people make money from social media. People might also want to, subscribe to your channel to as well get information on how things work or what they should do or all these things. That is the paid version now, putting the free version on YouTube. You can also get money from YouTube. So I don't know if you've done that. I've not done my research, but we can also get money from there.
Yeah. So let me respond on this. We are all in the UK, and there's what they call the GDPR. That's the General Data Protection Regulation. Who we are dealing with here, they are minors, they are kids. So we must be very careful of uploading we have a class with a child, with kids, and then you just upload it on YouTube publicly. It's not even the parents now that are the issues. The parents can give their consent, but somebody somewhere that was not a member of this session, that was not a member of this, can just come up and say, why are we putting up such things up there, and then sue us for it, because the kids basically they've not given consent. Yes, their parents have given consent, but they can grow up when they are adults and say, well, they didn't like the consent that was given by their parents. So there are some things that we need to be careful about, and that's why it's two things. But marketing, okay. So thank God we have a lawyer here that would assist us. Mr. Richard, please let me have Mr. Itayo. Mr. Itayo is a lawyer, and he might be able to help us as regards this conversation we're just having. Then I'll come back to you, Mr. Richard. Mr. Itayo, you can have the floor, sir.
Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. I'm sorry to pop in. Just, man, you guys have really been fantastic, and the little we can do is good to also make some inputs that would help put structures in place. When it comes to GDPR, and especially the UK legislation post-Brexit, The parent's consent is sufficient. Once
Okay.
you have consent of the parent, that's all. Even in schools, you will still find that parents' consent is all you need. But what you then need to do is all the way down. You have to be clear enough about the use. And for every use, you have to seek consent. That's where people miss it. For
For every
instance, if exactly, so if a consent is given, you cannot generalize it. Every use would need some consent. And I think you are all good once you have that.
So in an instance where we have a class this week now, and we want to upload on YouTube, we have to say, okay, we want to upload on YouTube, but please give us consent. Now all parents involved has to give a consent.
That is
When we have
safer.
it, when we have it again next week, we'd have to run the same thing. So every week we have to run it.
That is safer for you because you are dealing with children. So the rule is when you are in doubt, it's better for you to go back and seek consent than being in doubt and carrying on that the consent you already have is sufficient for all purpose. It just saves your business. It's safer.
Okay.
All right then.
Thank you very much for that enlightenment. You see, the reason why we have this feedback, we have parents coming from different industries. They are all able to help us, advise us. Now, Mr. Itayo is a lawyer, so he has
Hello,
given his.
I'm just trying my mic.
Oh, now we can hear you, Rayo.
Oh, finally. Okay. Yeah.
We need you on this call, though. We need you because we know you. Tell us, especially when it relates to kids. We know what you do.
Oh gosh.
I
So
won't just say anything in this
I would
platform.
just says I would just say honestly, thank you so much for what you've been doing. Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
going to say like a lot of the parents here do appreciate it, especially for me because my child has actually already gone through a separate program before, which is like a free program as well. But then he was able to differentiate between the quality of the class, and he was actually saying that the quality of this one is very good. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about coding or anything like that, and I really don't want to know about it. I just shut my mind down on that aspect because I feel like I have a lot of things going on in my head to even add coding to it. So like what I've suggested in the chat, I suggest like, we could have a group and then maybe, like 2 days in a month. I mean, two times in a month can be paid and the other 2 times can be free. And then we have the age range for the children. So in terms of balance, in terms of intellectual communication, the balance will be there if they're in the age range. So we don't have like mix up of age range. Also, in terms of the GDPR, to my understanding, as long as the first letter that you sent out has clarification to saying that this is going to contain photography and video recording, as long as you state that. So, when the school sent us the letter for GDPR, so what they do is that in the UK now, after Brexit, is every year you have to update it. So as long as you are able to update that every year, then that's fine, in terms of business. But honestly, I would say even the school my son went to in year 6, they I only did GDPR with them. And they still have his picture up because it's for promotion, and they still have it up on their website,
And
So we never had
school.
issue. Yeah. So we never had issue with that. But the thing is that as long as it's being stated that this is what you're going to use it for, the GDPR is there. You just have to have the records. That's all. So in case like a child grow up like you suggested and they want to challenge it, the only thing the child can challenge is actually the parent involved. and then it would just be a thing of, oh, could you kindly, like, if you could take it off or something like that, and it would just be like a request. So it's like something that you've already signed and dated. Once it's signed and dated, is all already going through, as long as you state everything that is going to be used for. So in terms of the payments, the quality, I think there was a lady that said quite a lot of points, which I do agree with her point. So when it comes to use of language, when it comes to children, there are children that have extensive knowledge of certain vocabularies, and there are some that doesn't have that amount of, vocabularies that they understand. So I would say breaking it down in simpler English, also like using certain example, like day-to-day kind of example, something that they can able to relate with. I think that will kind of, work with them. In terms of the project thing, for me, I'm not really sure, because I just leave my son to it, to be honest, because as long as he attended the class, that's it. But yeah, and the only thing about the payment for me is because we have like a lot of things going on like every month, and so this is why I'm kind of relating with what Mr. Richard suggested, because of the, if you have a lot of certain amount going out every month to extra curriculum, and then to add it to this, you have to like think of the budget. So the thing is that as long as the budget is not too bad, then people might actually want to do it. And if they feel like, okay, this budget is too high, then probably it will be impossible to see like a lot of people doing it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ma. That was quite insightful. That was quite insightful. So
And also, sorry, just one last suggestion in terms of the sponsor about the for the payment, like if you get like sponsors, I'm going to help you look at certain organization and see if they can support. If any organization can support, it's going to have to come with a lot of parent feedbacks. But I'm going to see, I'm going to ask and see, and get you a feedback about that. Yes.
thank you very much. Thank you
You're
very much. Please
welcome.
let us clap for Rayo, please. Please,
You're
guys.
welcome. I'm
Give us
not promising anything. I'm
no
just
Thank you,
problem. Yeah,
Rayo. At least it's a very brave step. I
I'm
appreciate
just going
you,
to send
honestly.
emails and then see,
no,
what can happen. That's all.
no
Hopefully,
problem.
yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank
Yeah.
you very much. Yeah, for the GDPR you mentioned, you said every year, lawyer Isaiah said giving consent part time is just an advice. So I think that's fine. Use of simple English, I know that's a part of what I've also been discussing with my tutors. Lawyer Isaiah also mentioned it in one of our sessions where he actually chatted me that our tutors should use simpler English so that the kids can relate to it. So you just seconded it now. That's fine. Then the free classes, 2 paid classes, 2 free classes per month is also a welcomed idea. We would, I'm taking all of these notes. We would internally look at the ones we can quickly adopt, the ones we can try to strategize around it for future adoptions, and we'll definitely communicate it to the parents. I don't want us to spend too much time. We're spending too much time. I can only see Mr. Richard's hand up. Please, if any other person is going to speak, please let me see your hand up now so that we can just agree to that, because afterwards I wouldn't want to take on any other comments. I believe Raya's hand is up because she just spoke, so I'm going to lower that. Right now it's just Mr. Richard. Oh, Mr. Richard, you've dropped your hand though. Okay, your hand is back up. So any other one apart from Mr. Richard, because once he makes his comments, I want us to round up and close for the day. So Mr. Richard, you can have the floor, sir.
And thanks everyone.
Thank you very much.
My own opinion anyway. Suggestion of doing the classes for parents, because I did a few classes in IT of, but I wasn't that too deep on it. For me, it won't be necessary because I won't be among you know, because I do give my own ideas or this I still remember to my own child. I mean, in the classes or maybe things he doesn't know. It will be quite difficult at the time frame as well. So for me, I still like leave it to the people who are, I mean, who are the, I mean, the teachers or the people you're involved on it. I take those classes for me because they knew. I mean, they can be patient with the kids. I mean, like sometimes when I'm, you know, when I'm doing some stuff for my child, and they, you know, gets to a stage that he's not getting it right. I might just, let me just leave it here. Then maybe tomorrow we continue. Then I have other things to do. So the volunteer one, I don't think, unless there is people who are ready to do it. And as you can see, when we started, it was like maybe 18 or something, but now we are remaining 11. The rest just left without, you know, saying anything, or maybe more. They feel like maybe they are had enough of it. So for me, I still remain like what Ms. Rayo said, the last person that just gave her own opinion. If we feel, I mean, because we know the bills we take care of here. If it goes down, at least something that will be easier and affordable for everyone, it will definitely help because there's things my child didn't know about some of the things in IT things, but since he started this, he can do a lot of things. I know the class is not enough, but another thing is this middle of the week, it won't be a problem for us if we really, because we're not going to attend the class with the child, we'll just be around. Any of the parents can be around. I mean, seeing what he's doing your own stuff as well. So it won't be that difficult, but maybe the time will be like be down for maybe like maybe 6 p.m. Then they finish by maybe 30 minutes or 40 minutes, something like that. Then it will be helpful because the weekend stuff will be difficult for them to remember the upper week. But the midweek class will be easier for them to also pick up on weekends and finish up the other one again. So that's my own last opinion I will give. Thank you so much. And please take my words, but like you guys just like I mean, like we try to how do I put it? Or just it's okay. Anyway, that is what I have to say.
Thank you very much, sir. So thank you very much. As we have said, all of this has been noted. We would work internally and see the ones we can adopt now. So if we're able to adopt teaching the parents and they are able to volunteer, that it's for parents that are interested, they can have it. So that's is a way to go about addressing that. For the week classes, we could also look into it. We'll let you know whatever we decide. Thank you very much, Ryan. I see that's and up, but yes, thank you. Oh, I do not have any. Sorry. Yes, it's actually 15. Yeah, I know how much it's. I just it's actually 15 pounds per class. I'm answering you now, Amaka. It's actually 15 pounds per class. For a month that's supposed to be 60 pounds, but we can give you a 15 pounds for a month. But we can do. Let's take this conversation outside this meeting. We'll discuss. Either are you just raising up your hand or you want to put say something before we close for the day?
I want to chip in something before we close for today. Good afternoon,
No problem.
everybody.
Because you've not spoken since. If you have spoken, I wouldn't, but it's fine. Thank you, Ma.
So, good afternoon. Thank you very much, Mr. Wale and all the team members. We really appreciate what you're doing. It's been insightful, it's been helpful. My son, for one, he has been disturbing me. He wants to start coding because his older brother is learning And this
Ah.
class gave him the opportunity to know more about Scratch, even though he has been learning small on his own. So, I just want to say about the parents that are requesting that they want to volunteer. My own concern is coding is not just ABC. You have to, if you don't know more about tech, it won't be easy for you to just say you want to learn coding. So you guys will not waste your time and resources training parents, and then you won't get the desired outcome. Because what you're expecting is once you train parents, then the parents will be able to volunteer and then teach other pupils. So if they do not have the background, what it takes, then I really do not see the need why you need to train them and then you're not getting what you want. That is one. Then two, I agree with other speakers that have spoken about what you're going to start billing us. You know, we're in Nigeria and you cannot be billing us in pounds. Oh. Even £10 is big money for us here. So if I know really we need to start paying something because you can't teach us for free forever. You need money for other things, for what you use to teach the students. So whatever you're going to start billing us, please consider the fact that we earn in Naira, we're in Nigeria, our purchasing power is very low, our salaries are not as high as you guys, and just put all that into consideration and hopefully we will not run away. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ma, for that. So, for the Nigerian context, I know we have something actually different for Nigeria. I know I told you to join this session. Now I remember, because the Nigerian one was not up yet. So we're also pushing them something in Nigeria actually that is different. So don't worry, you won't be charged in pounds. Just let me know that you are in Nigeria. So we'll address that one outside.
Okay,
Thank you very
thank
much.
you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. I didn't even expect to get this much feedback. I was expecting it was going to be probably a session where you talk, one or two parents will talk, and maybe that person will not talk. And it's quite impressive that we got quite a lot of comments from a lot of parents. I really, really appreciate it, starting from Mr. Richard to Amaka to Mrs. Paulina. Don't mind me if I use Mrs. if I don't call your name first name some other time. It's just me. Not picking a particular structure around it. Mr. Richard. Mrs. Omomi, you didn't speak. I think that's the only person that didn't speak. Every other person, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Ugochukwu Obina, so our tutors, sorry, don't let me forget our tutors. Ugochukwu Obina, thank you very much. That's our Python tutor. Adeomi Bukunlua, that's our digital marketer slash chatbot trainer. Thank you very much. Debo, I think you are using Borderless. Thank you very much. That's one of our Scratch trainers. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What we're going to do is we're going to, the way it has been written, first of all, raw form, we're going to share it so that everybody has an idea of what was said. Then we then go back on our own, agree to whatever we feel is going to work as at now. And then the others are going to be strategic for future. We'll then come back with that too. So that everybody's able to say, okay, in the meeting, this is what we said. Now, this is what they chose to adopt. So we're going to definitely communicate that with everyone. For the community, I think that's a great one that we really need to look at how best to go about it. Thank you, everyone. You have a lovely weekend. I didn't tell you people this at the end of the day. Today is my birthday. Thank you. Bye.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Happy
Thank you very
birthday.
much.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Happy birthday. I beg you, where is my own drink? I will start from there. It's weekend.
Don't worry, sir. Let's meet. Let's meet at the other end, sir. We'll organize. No problem, sir. Thank you.
No, wahala.
Yes, sir.
Uh,